Hello guys and welcome to the Noob Survival. Hopefully you guys are having a fantastic day. Today we are back in our survival world, me and Luca, and today we are going to be trying to make some more progress. So in this video we begin to make a villager bunker to try and progress to get some good enchantments for our tools. I'm going to be doing a voiceover for this video in particular because a lot of the audio from my voice didn't save, so in this particular episode, I will be doing a voiceover. But anyway, that being said, let's begin the video. So I began the villager bunker by digging out a staircase, then followed by a hallway, and then layering the walls with dark oak wood, which I gathered from the dark oak forest that we found in the previous episode, episode 3. I also went and bred some of the animals together to try and get leather for bookcases, and expanded the farm at my house. Also made a bunch of red concrete for the floor of the bunker, as I thought it would go nicely with the dark oak wood and the birch. And I also had to go mining as well, because I was running very low on iron. I dug out a very long tunnel for the hallway, and then started digging out walls to make pods for the villagers so we could trade. I made the walls out of dark oak wood, the ceiling out of birch, some glass so they could not escape, and then used some bone meal on some spruce saplings, then I could get loads of wood for the back of these pods for some decoration, and then dug out the floor so then I could layer it with the red concrete because I thought it looked really nice and very fancy. And then made the staircase out of spruce and laid the walls once again with dark oak wood. And then dug a little bit further, but then realised I wanted to do the outside of the bunker, which I did out of smooth stone, and I thought this looked pretty good, so I kind of just rolled with it and did the whole outside out of smooth stone, and then started on the breeding room, as I knew that eventually we would run out of villagers from the village. So I made this room so then we could get the villagers in here and try and get more of them if we needed to. I made the walls out of spruce planks, and I did the corner pillars out of dark oak wood. And then the roof out of birch stairs and birch slabs. Birch stairs on the outside, and birch slabs on the inside. Luca then joined my world, and we both realised that we both had some new skins on, and we took a look at each other's new skins. And then showed Luca the bunker and what I've been working on. And I think he liked it. I think he was pretty impressed with my progress and what I'd done. But after this, I continued with the breeding room. Also found some iron while I was digging out this room, which worked pretty well considering that I was pretty low. And then patched up the area where I mined the iron and continued to dig out the floor. And then made the floor out of birch slabs on the outsides and then stairs on the insides. I started to add a waterfall in the middle of the room, just because I thought it would look nice, and it kind of broke up the room a little bit. It's a very nice decoration. I made an infinite water source just nearby so I could easily make this waterfall, and it made things a lot easier so I didn't have to go up and down to keep getting water from the local river. With that being said and done, I was done with the room. I just put a little railing around the waterfall so the villagers can drown, and then attended to the farm, getting some wool, so then I could get some beds for the villagers, which I then proceeded to add into the pods that I made for them. I had to put it one block lower though, otherwise I couldn't get the villagers in. That was fine. I decided that it was quite a nice design, so I just went with it. And we did some oak slabs around the sides. I then decided I was ready to get some villagers, so I headed off to the local village in search of some villagers. But Luca kind of messed it up, so I had to go and grab a boat, but it was no problem, it was all good. So I went and grabbed a boat from the port area that we made in episode 2, and then got 2 villagers. And then this wandering trader showed up, and, well, stole his leads. Then his llamas weren't too impressed, so yeah, they had to go. I then used the leads from the wandering trader and started bringing these villagers to the bunker. I noticed as I was bringing them to the bunker that they were locking onto the job site blocks that I had there, like the stone cutter and the barrel, so I immediately knew that I had to remove those if I wanted to get these guys working on the jobs that I wanted them to work on. Well, circle of life. They had a child. Beautiful. Didn't actually expect this to happen, but hey, it kind of works for us, you know. We kind of need quite a lot of villagers for what we're doing, so yeah, I just accepted it and moved on. So with that being said, I released the villagers and then decided to go and break the job site blocks. So I broke both the stone cutter and the barrel, and then gathered some wood, so then that I could trade with the Fletcher to get loads of emeralds for the librarian. But then, well, this happened. Add another one to the death counter. So yeah, another death right there, and well, I just had to go and help out. And this would ensure the chaos that followed. After that ordeal, I got back to the bunker. I got back to work on what I was working on before I was rudely interrupted. I made my sticks and got to work with trading with the Fletcher. I made quite a juicy profit of them, quite a few emeralds, and then got to work on trying to trade off of the librarian. However, this was pretty tedious and was one of the reasons why this video is cut down so much, because this guy would not budge. Eventually, after a lot of placing and destroying the lectern, this guy finally gave in, and he gave us a fairly decent trade, especially for what we were trying to achieve at the time. Looting 3. Pretty good, especially in terms for the nether when we go to get the blaze rods, but I was thinking in terms of getting leather for the bookshelf. I just couldn't resist. 20 emeralds, it's fairly cheap too. So, I accepted it. And then got to work on getting more villagers so we can get another Fletcher and another librarian as well, so we can get more books. That being said, I put the fletching table down and got to work on getting some sticks. Once I was done trading with the Fletcher, I then got to work once again, placing and destroying the lectern over and over again until I got a trade that I wanted. And again, this was pretty tedious. I cut a lot of it out for you guys to save time, but yeah, pretty crazy stuff. I broke it over and over and over again, just trying to get something, anything that would help us in any sort of way. Protection 3 was tempting, and there was a couple of the things that tempted me in there, but eventually, I got what I wanted. And you know what? It wasn't actually too bad. It was pretty decent, and it was a pretty interesting way in which I got it. So, this is where it happened. I got offered mending for 24 emeralds. I thought, tempting. Definitely tempting. But 24 emeralds, man, that is a lot. So I was like, screw it, we'll just go again. He then gave me, on his next trade, mending for 16 emeralds. 8 emeralds cheaper. I couldn't resist. I mean, it's not the best mending deal I've been given in Minecraft, but 16 emeralds, I mean, it's definitely not the worst either, so I thought, you know what? Screw it. And if a better deal does come along, obviously we will be taking that. I then slaughtered my own horse that I tamed accidentally a while ago, and then got some leather. His sacrifice was worth it. I had to lock in this trade. I then got asked a very interesting question, which I would soon later come to regret even asking about. Oh god. No. Oh god, no. Just no. And then did some more work on the farm, and then decided it was finally time to slaughter some of these cows. So I hopped on the anvil and enchanted my sword, not only with looting 3, to get the most amount of leather possible, but mending 2. So I got to work, killing not all of the cows, but just the majority, just to see how much leather we could get. And at first, it wasn't looking too juicy, but then, it started coming in like crazy. Looting 3 was definitely working, and it was bussin'. It was definitely bussin'. But then, well, this happened.